Okay, class, today we are going to be moving on to the next lesson, which is Chapter 1-1B, Order of Operations. This should actually be a review lesson from what you've had last year. If you remember, the first thing you need to look for whenever you see one of these problems is to look for parentheses or grouping symbols. Now, we're most often familiar with parentheses, but you can also use brackets. And we're going to find with integers that we can also use absolute value symbols as well. Our first goal is to make sure we do the operations that are within those parentheses or grouping symbols. Our next goal is to then look for exponentiation. Big word for exponents, raising something to powers. If you recall, it'll look like x squared, or you could even have n plus 2, let's say, raised to the third power. That exponent, the 2 and the 3, are what we need to look for in working through the exponentiation step. Then we look for multiplication and division. Notice that it's in order. It's black boldface and underline because we do need to look for them in order from left to right. And lastly, we look for the addition and the subtraction, again in order from left to right. Now let's tackle our first example here. When we start looking at these, one of the first things I do is I kind of go through and I say, all right, I look for parentheses, that's the P. Do I have parentheses? No, I do not. Then I look for the E, exponents. Do I have exponentiation? No, I do not. I move on. Do I have multiplication and division? Yes, I do. I put equal signs in. I copy what I already have, and then I've got this 4 times 3, which is 12. I have no more multiplication or division, so then I look for addition and subtraction. All I have left here is a subtraction problem, so I'm going to put down the answer of 4. If you would like to try B, you can hit pause and then hit play again to see how well you did. In this problem, again, starting with P for parentheses, yes, I have them this time. 16 minus 4. I have to do that first. That's going to be 12. Then I copy the rest down. Times 3. I have found over the years that if you try to do too much at one time, you can get very mixed up. So I would encourage you to kind of take your time, take it step by step, and then go through it. Parentheses are finished. I look for the E exponentiation. I don't have any. Then I look for multiplication and division. In this case, I have multiplication. I do the multiply, and I get my answer of 36. I hope you did get the right answer. One of the places you'll be working with this is actually evaluating expressions. Some examples. Sometimes they will tell you what they want the variable to stand for, in this case n equals 3, and then they will give you 3 or 4 different expressions and you're supposed to use it. Now, just like the lesson we had yesterday or the day before, lesson 1a, I'm going to substitute that n as 3. So I'm going to rewrite it as 3 plus 12. Now, yes, you can do this mentally if you'd like. Then I go through my order of operations. There's no parentheses, no exponents, no multiply and divide. There's only add or subtract. My answer is 15. Again, I substitute 7 times 3. Remembering that 7 in front of n means to multiply. Again, no parentheses, no exponents, but this time I've got multiply or divide. I do the multiplication and get 21. Substitute for n. 3 times 3 minus 5. Now here, I have parentheses, but it's really only one operation, so I'm only dealing with the multiplication. I need to multiply before I subtract. 9 minus 5 equals 4. Now again, if you can do that mentally, that's okay. Go right ahead. This time in B, they have given us the expression 4 times D plus 7. And now they give us 3 different values for the variable D. It's done the same way. I'm going to substitute in 4 times 0 plus 7. That doesn't look very good. Let me try that again. 4 times 0. I don't know what that was from. We'll just ignore it. 4 times 0 plus 7. 4 times 0 is 0 plus 7 equals 7. Substitute 4 times 4 plus 7. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 7 is 23. And 4 times 7 plus 7. 4 times 7 is 28 plus 7 is 35. If you would like to try C, you will substitute in 3 different variables, and then I'll go over them so you can hit pause, and then you can come back and we'll go over them. All right, let's see how you did. A is 3. This one's parentheses. 3 plus 7 is 10, times 4 is 40. Again, I'm going to substitute 3 plus 5, and then divide by the x, which is 2. You will notice that here you've got the parentheses. That has to be done first. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now if you need to, you can put in that extra step that says 8 divided by 2. Just as back here on the first one, I could put 4 times 10. The next one, I've got my 15, and I'm going to substitute this one in, because this one's a little bit more complicated. A is 3, and then plus y times x, 5 times 2. Now in this problem, you don't have really any parentheses, and you don't have exponents. So what you do have is here's multiplication, or division, and here is multiplication. Now remember that the law of order of operations said that you're supposed to take them in order from left to right. So that's what we do. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. And then we're going to add and get the 15. Be good if you'd put in equal signs. There are times when they will do these in a table, and this is where a lot of students use mental math a little bit, but again, you can write it out along the side if you need to. For example, you could put 2 times 2 plus 4, and then do the math. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8. Some students actually write it all the way out. Otherwise, if you want to hit pause again, do these last two, and then I'll go over the answers. Okay, I'm going to show them out, just for those people who feel more comfortable doing it. 2 times 12 plus 4 is going to give us 24 plus 4 with an answer of 28. And then we'll do 2 times 20 plus 4, and that will give us an answer of 40 plus 4, which is 44. Okay, I hope you got those two right, and this is the end of our second lesson.